He sends blessings to all of God's people. I pray this finds you well. And whatever it is giving you challenges or difficulties, try to get your composure and just, study the thing and just try to learn how to roll with it. I want to come back at you today with a scripture. It's in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. And I'm only going to deal with part A of this because it's sort of going to address the theme of this particular video. Proverbs 23, verse 7, part A says, King James Version of the Bible, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. As he thinketh, man is, woman is what she thinketh in her heart. Back in 1903, a guy by the name of James Allen wrote a book, As a Man Thinketh. That scripture, the book, James Allen was trying to use the writing in his book to describe what creative intelligence actually is. Creative intelligence begins by us studying and meditating on the things that we think, or becoming aware of our awareness. Our feelings, our emotions are very real. And each person that walks on this planet has a right to feel how they want to feel about their emotionalism. But in the study of the mind, or the renewing of the mind, Romans 12:2, in the renewing of the mind, you must understand that your emotions and your feelings is one thing, and that the facts and the evidence, much like you feel a certain kind of way. Okay. Well, how you feel about that thing is only 10% of your problem in the renewing of your mind. 90% of it in the renewing of your mind via creative intelligence is how it affects you and what you do about it. One more time. 10% of whatever challenge or difficulty you're confronted with, that's what it is. 90% is how you receive it and what you do with it. Instead of constantly just, I'm talking about my development here. I'm speaking about how I got to where I'm sitting here talking to you. I used to, oh man, why is that man, poor black man, this and that, all types of self-depredation. Just on and on, beating myself, trauma after trauma. Well, finally, I grew. And let me tell you a very special step in growth of any way. And that all growth is painful. I don't care if it's physical growth, mental growth, or spiritual growth. Growth is painful, but growth is necessary for you to sustain yourself until you find out really whose you are and who you are. Okay. Now, the growth aspect in creative intelligence is going from, stomping around like a 2-year-old to saying, okay, Most High, okay, God, I know you are showing me this as a lesson for something I need to know for where you're trying to carry me. Now, this calms you down some. See, you got to calm down before your understanding kicks in. And you ain't going to have no understanding if you ain't got no patience with yourself. Now, I'm not talking, this is all an inner scientific understanding of who we are. Going from stomping around like a 2-year-old in frustration to saying, okay, it adds a kind of excitement. I know something good is on the way. I just got to be patient. I got to learn the operational procedures I'm going to need to know in order for this thing to be perfected in me. So now you got patience with yourself. You got your patience. Now you can begin to see the complex aspects of the thing, how it's so simple. But you can't do it with an agitated spirit. You have to have peace. And that's what a lot of times we're given these. So we'll stop and understand what and how peace allows us to have creative thinking, to go into our creative difficulties and challenges, and rather than it challenging us, we challenging it by allowing it to teach us. See, if you never touch a problem, if you never get into it, how you going to dismantle it? You got to understand how it's constructed. If it came to you, then you have a power within you and your creative intelligence to figure it out. Think on these things. I pray in some kind of way it opens some doors in you. You know, rather than becoming the problem, say, wait a minute, let me find a way to defeat this problem. Because emotion is going to get you in there and may get you tore up from the floor up. But now, if you just sit back, say, hold on, wait a minute. Breathe. Calm down, bring it down. Then you can reason with yourself. Peace and blessings to all of God's children.